everybody? Welcome back to another show today. I know we've been gone a little bit, but we are back. It's once again myself and Coach Will. I'm Coach Sheldon. Two coaches, one conversation, and we got some special guests today. We'll introduce them in a minute, but before we get into that, I want to thank everybody that has been supporting the channel, requesting topics, coming back to see us in this foolishness that we created. We've been having a lot of fun. We're glad that we can bring y'all together on the journey. I want to do a special shout out today to Coach Washington out in Maryland. He requested another show. I guess he's bored out there in quarantine land, so this one's for you. But as we say, we got two special guests today. We'll introduce them individually here. The show that we've created is a premise for athletics, whether it be your local youth or college athletics. We want to shed a light on it. So we wanted to bring some great athletes on today. So we have Nisha Knox here, and we have Caitlin Gillespie. And
no relation to Bill.
No. And they have recently signed to where?
Paul Quinn.
Paul Quinn. Tell everybody where that's at.
In Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. And just to give people a background, it's for what sport?
Basketball.
Basketball. And what will you be majoring in when you get up there?
I'll be majoring in psychology.
I'll be majoring in health and wellness.
Okay. So, for the people who don't know, why Paul Quinn?
First of all, it's HBCU.
Okay.
I chose Paul Quinn because the coaching staff and the people around there seemed more supportive, and they believed in me and where I could potentially go.
I strongly agree. I was reached out by one of the coaches, and I'm very excited. And after meeting all the staff and everything, I'm very eager to get on campus.
So it was a good fit. You felt at home. They welcomed you in. You was invited. Tell everyone where you were at before you made the Paul Quinn.
I was a basketball player at Texas University in Denton, Texas.
Okay.
I was in Oklahoma, Altus, Oklahoma, at Western Oklahoma State College.
Okay, so you went out of state.
Yeah.
Okay, that's beautiful.
JUCO.
Okay, all right.
JUCO me.
All right. You got any questions before I get into these questions, Coach? Or you got?
Yeah, for Caitlin here, since she took the JUCO route first, what made you decide to go JUCO first, and what was your expectation getting there versus your expectations once you actually got there?
With the whole recruitment process, it was kind of like I didn't have a lot of like really big like four-year schools that were looking at me, and all the ones that were, they were like way up north. So and plus I always think JUCO is a really good route because, especially for me as a player, I felt like I wasn't developmentally ready to go to a 4-year and compete at that level, but I'm really glad I did, because I did learn a lot and see a lot of new people, and thinking like getting there, I thought it was just going to be like super simple, and like honestly I thought it was going to be the same as high school, and it really wasn't. It was still a whole different level. You still like compete at a higher level, just coming in, and then you're thinking like you may be going against like the lesser talented girls, but there was D1 level athletes playing at JUCO level, so it was actually really nice to
So mentally you were surprised, like once you showed up at JUCO, like, okay, I'm just gonna go in there and like dominate because it's like JUCO, but then you come to find out like these kids could have went D1, D2, D3, but they chose the JUCO route.
Yeah, actually we had a player that was D1, and then she transferred with us, and even she was like, even though it is more intense at a D1 level, training wise, game wise, it was still like what, and yeah, I think mentally, it was just kind of like like I'm just play basketball, get in, get out, but it was not like that.
Okay, Benicia, you went D2 right off the bat. I know for a fact that you had major D1s recruiting you and stuff like that. What made you choose to go D2, and did the coaches meet your expectations there?
I decided to go to Texas University because that was the one school that I felt was close enough and not too far, and I liked the environment. When I first met the coach and the teammates, Like, I immediately fell in love with the campus, the people, and really the people there was really what kept me there. My recruitment process with TW was nice, easy. They called me, they made everything look nice, and just when I got there, it wasn't the same experience. I barely played, and if any of you guys know me, that's not something I'm used to, so I got hurt a lot. I had surgery. I was out for a year. I didn't play my freshman year half the season because I was also hurt from the same injury. Like, college was way different than high school, and it's not really like a friendly thing. It's like a job, and if you're not doing your job well, they just don't care for you at all.
Now, a couple of other local products were on your squad. For instance, you had Brianna Gray there with you. Alexa Dukes came a little later, and you had Kyle Bill.
Yeah.
Okay, so having someone from the local area, did it kind of ease knowing someone, or they're coming from the same area you're coming from, and did they help with the transition as far as them being upperclassmen and then coming in with you?
Well, for me, because I did play with Kaya my freshman year, but she was also transferring in, so it was her first year too, and it was kind of nice to see, like, because I used to play with her little sister Emery in high school. I just finished playing with her, then go and play with her older sister. It was an experience. Yeah, it was nice to have somebody like converse about being back home with.
Right.
So it was good.
What about you?
Yeah.
Having Brianna and Alexis on my team was good. They were from Quinn, so they know my personality the best, and they know how I play. So it was someone that's seen how I played before and things that would happen now. And it was good to have them there because they was always pushing me to be better and like keep my head up when things weren't working out for me, and no one knew why. So it was good to have them there, but they did not warn me for how it was going to be. But it was Alexis' first year there too. That's my first year, so she didn't know what she was getting into either. But Brianna, I hadn't really talked to her before I got there, so I never really could talk to her about how it would be, but it was good having her there once I originally got there.
I had a girl, a freshman come in from Temple, so so both years I had somebody who was familiar with my area, which felt really nice, especially being out of state.
Okay, so your continuity is good, and it always makes you feel more comfortable when it's someone that you can relate to. I want to change gears a little bit because I don't want to give away too much about everything right now. So I always like to take the journey, so I want to kind of know the beginning. So like, tell me, growing up, like, what are did you always play basketball? Was there other sports involved that kind of led you to picking basketball as your one thing? So I just want to kind of know where it all started. So I don't have to go first.
I started running track when I was like 5 years old. I ran track up until about 5th grade, and I was really competitive at track. Me and all my siblings ran track. I never knew what basketball was. I honestly thought it was the only boy sport. When I got to middle school, everyone kept telling me I was so tall that I should play basketball, but honestly, I couldn't make a layup to save my life. And I played like all the sports that I could play: basketball, volleyball, track, and I continued to play those sports till I got to high school. And then my freshman year of high school, it kind of got serious, so I started playing basketball, track, and volleyball, and doing AAU sports for those sports. And then I had to decide because the schedules were clashing in the summer, so I had to decide. And I chose basketball because the environment that I was in high school was a really good basketball environment, and it just made me love the game more.
Okay.
For me, I actually did not even start playing sports at all until 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah, I've always had, actually, when I was a little younger, I've always had an interest in volleyball, and I was on this little kiddie league but we never really like played, so it was like I was familiar with the sport, but I didn't really not in a competitive setting. So 7th grade year, I didn't make the volleyball team, and then sadly my grades weren't good enough for by the time basketball season came around, 7th grade. So 8th grade year, I had both like the Eastern Hills. I went to Union Grove, so I had the Eastern Hills and the Union Grove coach trying to tell me like, oh, you should play basketball. You're so tall. Use your height. So yeah, and then ever since then, I played volleyball my freshman year, and then sophomore year, it just ended up not working out. And instead of like harping on it, I focused all on basketball.
Okay.
So that's how. And then I, taking it seriously junior year when I realized like I can actually go somewhere and play, get my college paid for, like take it serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, good choice.
So let's speak on your AAU journeys. because both of you played for at least 3 AAU teams.
Yeah.
And let's talk about the different, like as you progress through AAU, that actually introduce you to the competitive side, starting from practice to like the actual game time. Because I know for a fact, like for Manisha, and I'm gonna let you tell the story as you want to, but I know I saw you 6th grade in the dollar store. And I walked up to her like, hey, do you play basketball? She was looking at me like, who is this man? But you can take it from there.
It was, I was going to Maynard Middle School. It was my 8th grade year. And I was coming out of the store from like either basketball, volleyball, track practice, some practice. And this man was like, do you play basketball? And me thinking, no, I don't talk to strangers either. So I'm like, no. And he just says, when you want to play real basketball, come to my team. I'm like, Mom, this man just But really, I played on a lot of little teams just to like have fun. I just thought it was fun at first. I never really took it serious, honestly. If anyone's ever coached me at a young age, they know I was just there for a good time. I played for the Lady Diamonds my 7th grade year. It was like, it was a basketball team. I just had it for fun. Then I went to this team called the Outlaws my 8th grade year. And I just did it because a lot of my friends were on the team, and I never really like started learning basketball. I was just doing whatever they told me. I never really thought about it. And then my freshman year of high school, a lot of my teammates played with this team called the Cougars that he coached, and they were good players. So I was like, okay, I want to play with this team. And they were older than me, so I feel like I can get better. And Jason was a really big factor why I came to the Cougars. She was like a big sister to me, and I looked up to her, and she played with the team. I'm like, she's good. I want to be good like her. So I went and played with her and got better, got confidence, started learning the game, like actually knowing what the game is and how to play. And when that class graduated, I left 2 with that class and I went to another team called the Austin Elite. I went to Austin Elite, was a team in Austin. I went to that team because it was my last year and I wanted to get like a lot of exposure. I was getting exposure on the Cougars, but when that class left, I felt like a lot of the team players that I played with were gone, and I felt like I needed somewhere fresh to just get a different perspective on basketball, because he was more defensive mind and I liked that. And then the team I went to out there was more offensive mind, so I got best of both worlds to learn how to play offense and defense, and just helped me out better for my college choices.
How I got into AAU, it was actually I think it was like the spring game, like so I was playing, it was 8th grade going into 9th grade, and the Outlaws coach, it was Outlaws coach.
That's right.
Yep.
Chuck.
Outlaws coach, he approached my mom actually, and he was like, hey, do you like play for AAU team? I was like, what is that? Like, it was my first year playing, I didn't know what that was. So he convinced my mom into getting me on the team, and so I started playing. And like I said, I just started playing, but he actually worked with me, unlike my coach in middle school, so I actually started to actually learn the game, which I did appreciate, and he really took me in. The team was, even though the team was not such a great fit though, and then the next year I played for Synergy with Coach Gunn, and that was good. It was good. We went to a lot of places. It was way more competitive, just because we were older girls, and then I think it was Shape. I went to Shape next, located in Round Rock, and that was such an amazing team for me, because I got to play with my my classmates. We all the seniors for that year, we all went to the same team, and it was really great to play with them and create that bond with them during the summer, and then to have it going into our senior season. And we actually finished out our AAU season that season, so first time finishing out an AAU season. And I've had a good experience with AAU. I liked being able to go to like all these different facilities and meet all these different people that like you wouldn't meet, and then to see these same people while playing in college was actually really, really interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So with AAU, okay, we know the ultimate goal is to play in college. So I just want to know, tell me about your recruitment process. That's one. The process.
College or AU?
College. Okay, now we're transitioning. We played AU, so now we reached the ultimate goal where we have choices now. So I want to know about your recruitment process, what that was like for you. What did you know about it going into it? Like, how much information did you really know about going into it? And what was that feeling to get that first call from Coach Collins?
I think it was my junior year when I started taking it serious. After my junior season was when I started applying to or signing up for all of the websites, like the field level, huddle, getting all my highlights together and all that stuff. And at first it was really slow for me. I probably had about 4 or 5 schools looking at me, not really speaking with any coaches seriously. And then I think it was during the fall sports signing day, I met Coach Will. He came up to me. He was like, "Hey, how's your recruiting going?" And actually, no, that was my senior year.
That was
my senior year. So after my senior season, or before my senior season, during my senior season?
No, it was the earliest signing period. And I asked you, "Hey, you want to play at the next level?" He's like, "Well, I don't have any offers, and people are looking, but this, that, and the other."
Yeah, it was just not.
I was like, "I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you."
Yeah, it was a blessing. He sent out all my information to all these different coaches. And then that's when I actually started taking it more seriously, because I was actually seriously being considered for these different positions. And then
you went on a couple of visits.
Yeah, I think I had about 3 official visits.
Yeah, she was tired after 3 visits because she was like, "Man, this process." And then some coaches liked her, some coaches like, "Well, you're not a good fit for us, or whatever." So Caitlin went through the process, and she went to Oklahoma, and she loved the campus.
Oh yeah, the campus.
And she loved the field there.
It was great.
And she ended up signing there. Now Caitlin never played for me. I tried to recruit her, but it's funny because
hilarious.
because the person she's sitting beside she was like, "Well, they were so aggressive, and I didn't know." And now they're actually going to be college teammates.
Yeah, we actually had a little. I don't know what to call it.
It was an on-court. Because they went to opposite high school.
Kind of like an altercation. We had an altercation.
It wasn't you, but
verbal.
you was backing up your Colleen teammate because.
No. It was no, because I was being very aggressive with you, and it was a spring game, I think, and you were just like, "Okay."
Oh, I had a temper tantrum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
I mean, but because during the seasons and stuff, it was never we were heat of the moment. It was which it was never. I don't know, but we were just on different.
Manisha's very competitive.
Yeah.
So
I'm very competitive and
from
practice
to whatever she does, she's very competitive. Grades, all that stuff.
Yeah.
She takes it to heart.
Yeah, and we were just very, very aggressive with each other every time on the court. It was so fun though. So that was actually a reason why I didn't play for the Cougars, because I just felt like personality wise it would not be a good fit personality wise, because I know how I am, and I just felt the girls not it was specifically it was me. No, it was some other girls from just around the area that I was just I would not agree with them. That would not be good. It would not be good for me. So
I would have loved to have seen them.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Manisha, what about you?
When my recruiting process started, it was about my junior year. We would play good tournaments during the high school season, and coaches would contact my high school coach about us, and we would play AAU. I never really got deep involved with the recruiting process. It was just people would email, they would call. It's always an unknown number, and of course I never answered. But people would call. I never really got deep involved in this stuff. I just let my mom handle it all, honestly. So people would call, I would just keep playing. I was really passionate about basketball around junior year. If you've ever played against me or anything, I'm really personality. And some people like it and some people don't. And I can say now, like being older, I know that was one of my biggest downfalls. Like during my high school season at AAU, I didn't know how to control my temper. Like I didn't have a bad attitude, but I didn't know how to control my temper at times. And I know that was a downfall for me. But my recruiting process, I would talk to schools, and a lot of them were far, and the in-state ones, there were a lot of different levels, and I wanted to stay somewhere that was close to home because I don't want to be far away from home out of state. That just wasn't my taste. And I met some of my best friends at the school that I was at TW, and I just felt like that was a perfect fit for me. And the coaches at TW, when I first met them, they were nice. They act like they truly cared about me and my growth at that place, and that I would ask questions like, how would I play? What's your guys' style of play? And everything was nice, wine and dine.
Which we're gonna get into a little later.
Oh yeah, we're gonna.
But
yeah.
both of them keep saying something that's very important, and AAU coaches, take note of this. Both of these young ladies were like, I didn't want to go far from home. And a lot of times I see AAU coaches that are about reputation or whatever, big name schools come calling, they want to push that kid to that school so that program can get recognition. You don't want to do that. Like players will tell you up front, like, hey, listen, this school's calling. I can be like, hey, Michigan State calling. And these are like, hey, that's great, they calling. I don't want to be that far from home. And Caitlin may be on, hey, Michigan State calling. Okay, coach, I go. But you see, they don't want to go that far. It's not about you. It's about the players.
Right.
Yeah. Like I had one coach that was really interested in me in
South Dakota?
Montana. No, yeah. Well, there was one in South Dakota as well, but Montana that school was definitely a second choice for me. But it was just insanely far, and
it's only 15 hours. What are you talking about?
And then coming fresh out of high school, it was just insanely scary for me. And I actually expressed that to the coach that was recruiting me, and he was like, "Oh, we have a lot of like foreign girls who are like in the same boat as you," and I was still like,
yeah, he called me behind that one.
But yeah, and it was actually hilarious to me because I had a coach that was looking at me in high school, and he was talking with my high school coach, and then I had got an offer. Honestly, Western was the only actual offer I got. So I waited a little bit, and then I signed on like a Thursday or Friday. That next Monday, the coach called my high school coach and was like, "Hey, is she still available?" And it's like, she just signed.
So I hear a lot of college coaches say kids are waiting, playing around, but sometimes the coaches are playing around, so the kid makes the best decision for them as well, which we can do a whole nother show on that recruiting battle between players and coaches, because that'll be a like 3-part show if we did it, because there's so much information.
I'm just gonna say, everybody that's taking the chance to watch this video, please gather anybody that's getting ready to go to college, on the fence about whatever it is they're about to do, and listen to these young ladies, because they are giving you actual facts, things that they've actually lived through and still going through, and it's going to be good advice because you can be helped by something that you did not know. I mean, it's something you probably wanted to ask, like we always say, you just didn't know how to ask it, so we're giving you all the answers and facts here. All right, so I'm going to ask another question unless you got one.
No, go ahead.
Okay, all right, so moving along. Now, so we're moving on this journey. We've made it to school. I always like to ask, tell me about that first practice, that welcome to practice moment. I am not in high school anymore, and these coaches that call me are the devil. They ain't who they say they are, and I just want to know. So somebody go and tell me that experience, please.
Okay. Right. My first day on college, we moved in the Wednesday, and our first practice was the prior week on the Thursday. And the first thing we have to do, we have to get assessed. We have to get assessed our weights, conditioning, like to see if we're in shape. Because of course they send these workouts over the summer, and I went to Division II, so we didn't stay over the summer. It wasn't a possibility for us, so we had to work out on our own and come in shape. So we did a fitness test called the pyramid test and the mount test. We ran them out, you get timed, then the pyramid test is like a down and back in a certain amount of time, and then a down and back twice, and you go all the way up to 5, and then you go all the way back down to 1, and there's no stops. You just keep going, and you have to make each time 24 seconds for 1, 33 seconds for 2, and it just keeps going up like that. So that was the first test, and me and my entire freshman class, like, we were tired. Like, we were like, not even just the freshman class, but the team as a whole, everyone was tired. Like, yes, you can work out on your own so much, but it's different than just being in the place every day with someone and just doing it and doing it. So everyone was behind and tired, but so we were all out of shape basically, and they didn't like that. That was one thing that she did not like from the beginning, and could continue to let us know that that's what she hated about us. So that was a big mistake. But that's when I knew I was on campus and that things are gonna be different.
Okay.
For me, it was a little different. We didn't touch the ball for like the first 2 weeks. So I think that first practice ever, I was very nervous because we had a meeting like the day before, like 2 days before, and he sat us down in the locker room. He told us, he was like, "Look, I'm not the coach that recruited you. I'm a whole different person. Like come season time, like in practices and stuff." Cause he was like so sweet. And like I said, he warned us. But it was intense. The conditioning, I think we did. I don't even remember the first practice. I just know I was tired. I was so tired, but I was actually proud of myself because I did better than I thought I would. But
So you saying Coach Eddie turned to a demon on you in the locker room?
No. He was very playful, like recruiting, and then when it came like us actually being on the team and like actually like getting ready to start practicing and stuff, he got very serious. He was like, I'm. Yeah.
This is business. This is my passion. Like either you want to be here or you don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in knowing this now, what advice can you give to an incoming freshman? Like, what can they do to prepare themselves? I mean, I know, like I said, basketball shape is basketball shape, but if you can go back and tell yourself, what would you have changed to make sure you were ready?
I would tell myself to be ready to run a 10K mile and be in shape for that, because being in basketball shape is way different than being in the shape that they want you to do. I know a lot of times we did a lot of random running tests that had nothing to do with basketball, but if you don't do good on the test, it makes you look bad as a whole. Like, right. It's really 3 categories, like your skill level, your conditioning level, and your academics. And if one of them is off, it just makes you look bad as the entire person. So I would tell myself to get in shape, not just basketball shape, but in shape. Like, quit playing, get in shape.
Yeah, I would kind of say this because I'm not gonna blame it on my asthma. I did not get in shape very quickly. I was able to do a lot of stuff. Like I was able to do all the drills, but when it came to like the running and all like the suicides and all that other stuff, it was very, very, very difficult for me. So I would probably tell myself like work more on like sprinting and like being able to go like long, because I was oddly better at doing long distances stuff than like and actually like maintaining. But sprints, it was just killed me. So I would just say like work on yes, getting in basketball shape as well and building up your endurance, for those long games, but also being able to do like those sprints and being able to keep going. And
how many times did you ask yourself, what did I get myself into?
Honestly, I probably cried every day.
I definitely cried.
Like, I'd be in my shower just drinking with the music on, crying. I was just so sad.
I wish I showered with you.
Now that's an honest, raw answer.
Truthfully, I cried so much my freshman year.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody sees the finished product. Everybody sees when you go away and they see the end, but they don't see the middle, and they don't realize how much you have to sacrifice and put into to come out and be complete. And if you really are interested in playing on the next level, you have to be dedicated, because these coaches are only in the moment. I would think they're only in the moment of what you can do for them right then, and they can always find somebody to replace you. So you just got to stay ready and be prepared. That's what I'm getting out of what you guys are saying right now.
Yeah, so. Definitely. Because when I beginning of my season, I forgot what I was gonna say. But it's very tough. Like you think like you're going in and you're gonna be good. Like you're gonna just power through it. But honestly, when you have coming in from high school, yes, you're practicing every night or whatever, like after school. Maybe you have it during the class period.
Right.
But it is totally different when you have to go in between classes. You have to find time to eat. You have to find time to actually sleep, shower, do all your work. And because it's just a different level because you have to juggle everything. You don't have your parent there to say like, hey, did you do this, did you do that, and you're going 3 hours a day. You get like a 3-hour practice and then like an hour weight room, and well, that's how it was for me. We went like twice a day most of the time, and
which kind of leads into my next question, because I do want to know how you guys were able to find a footing with your school, because you are student first, and then putting the athletics with it. Like, how did you get into a rhythm? How did you figure it out? What advice you got from anyone else? How did you go about it?
The school part wasn't really hard for me. I'm like an independent kid, so
4.0 GPA.
Getting inside of the school wasn't hard. Once I learned my schedule, that was easy. Just finding time to eat was the hardest thing for me. We would either have morning practices or practice immediately after class, and I would go to practice starving, not eat, and give you a bad practice, and now you have a bad practice, now you have an unhappy coach, and it will just keep going like that. Wow. So I just feel like if you're gonna be in school, you need to plan your schedule so you have time to eat, take a nap, because the whole day of class going straight to practice will drain you. You will be tired and you will not have a good day at practice. So just plan everything. But the hardest adjustment for me from high school to college was the basketball. In my high school, I was really comfortable with my high school coach. In my college, I wasn't really comfortable with her on a personal level. So I felt like I really couldn't talk to her. So I never really knew what she wanted from me basketball wise. Because I feel like my skill was good enough to play and to do these things, going against my teammates every day in practice. I felt like I was good enough, but I never got the chance to play, so I never understood why. And when I would ask why, it would always be like little reasons that didn't make sense, because other players would be on the floor doing worse or the exact same thing. Right. So I just never really understood what she wanted from me, and it just kept building up and building up.
Right.
Yeah. With me, it was very difficult. My first semester, I got a 4.0. Next semester, it went down to like 3.8. I mean, which is still a good GPA, but
right.
Don't get me wrong. But the fact that it went down, it was it seemed really easy at first. I was like, my first semester, I was like, oh, like this is fine. I was able to do all my work. Like you said, like the most difficult thing was actually just to find time to eat and like actually get an adequate sleep, because you're sitting there, you're doing your work, and then you, like well, at least for me, I'm very bad at time management. So, and I do all my best work at night. So I would stay up till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning doing all my work for that day or that week or whatever. And then it was smooth. And basketball season actually came in, and it takes a toll. Like, you don't have as much free time, because times you do have, like, coaches all frantic because it's season time. Like, you gotta focus on winning games, and then you also have to focus on your work and making sure you're talking to your teachers, getting all your class ready, and even studying, and just juggling that. It can be very difficult. It's very doable, but for me, you have to have good time management. Absolutely.
I know when our players come in, we always tell them you're going to either be a successful student, an athlete, or you're going to be a successful social life athlete, or a successful athlete, and the other two just don't even matter. So basically what you're saying, when you got to college, everything, because in high school everybody wants to have a social life, but even the high school athletes don't have a social life. So how much time did you have for like a social life?
Honestly,
I know you squeeze it in, but
honestly, my best friends were my teammates, so we were together all the time. So I never really thought I was missing out. Usually when you get into season, it becomes a lot of game days and long road trips, so your weekends are basically taking off, and Sunday is the day to rest, because you got to be up every day of the week. So like, you don't really have time to go out and to do things. But off season and preseason, you have weekends off, so you get to go out and do whatever you want. But during season, you're really locked in. Like, there's like a certain amount of time where you really don't have time to do anything but basketball, school, sleep, and eat, because it just takes up so much of your energy that you wouldn't even want to do anything else.
Definitely.
She had flashbacks over here. PTSD moments, I guess.
Yeah, because like I said, I was at a JUCO level, so like I said, it probably wasn't as intense as D2, D1, D level, but it was still very time consuming, because even when I did get time, I wanted to rest, like not even sleep, just rest my body, just not do anything. And so it was like she said, teammates become your best friends for sure, especially if you have like a good bond. So that was really comforting to know, like, and like you're not alone. They know.
You're suffering together.
Yeah,
It really bonds you.
Yeah, and like I said, my school was pretty small, so like everybody knew everybody. So I was definitely friends like a lot of the baseball players. But even then, I barely saw them. Like I would see them during the school day, hang out with them like during lunch, and I was really unless I went and actually like went in over there and like actually spend time with them. And
Okay.
yeah.
So, Manisha, if no one's ever seen you play before and they come to see you, what kind of player are you and what can they expect from you on the floor?
They can always expect me to score because I'm a bucket. What can I say? But they can expect a lot of high energy, a lot of voice, I'm a really positive player. Like, I'm gonna always lift my teammates up. You're gonna see like a lot of energy and weird noises because I like to have a good time while I'm on the floor, and I'm just full of energy. Like, one of my favorite things is to like get steals. Like, I'm gonna say it. I like offense more than I like defense. I'm guessing you already knew that.
Of course.
But like I like to score. I like to do cool tricks and get a bucket. That's one of my favorite things to do. So you can expect me to score and be high energetic.
I got a different question for you.
Oh.
So, like I talked to you earlier before we started this, and I saw one of your game highs, and you had a pretty productive game. So, over your 2 years, what do you say was your best way to put your game together? Like, how did the coaches help you? How did you help yourself? Like, how did it all lead to you being a better player?
That's an interesting question. With where I was at, it was more of we didn't really do a lot of like tailored individual work. We did like the ball handling, the shell drills, and all that stuff. But it was for, at least for me personally, my first season, I really wanted to like get at it. I wanted to go. I went in and did extra gym time, got some shots up on my own, was in there after practice. And then as the season went on, it was just kind of like, I wasn't getting as much playing time. I wasn't feeling as much, I didn't feel like I started to feel like I didn't have enough to offer to the team. I started losing my confidence. So I started doing less, and it definitely carried over into the next season. And then a lot of like personal stuff, really just distracted me from it.
Right.
But, and like I said, it's kind of a very difficult question to answer properly. But it was definitely a struggle to try to gain a footing, and actually because I've never been like a standout player.
Right.
Like, unless you're on the court with me, you're not really gonna like see me, feel me, because I'm very physical with people. Like, I'll box out all day.
So you're not filling the stat sheet, but you're doing the little things that the box score doesn't show up.
Yes.
And you're like the gel or the muscle or whatever it is that they need you to do, you're gonna go do for them.
Definitely. Like, and on the bench, I'm like one of the loudest ones. I'm always starting the cheers. I'm always clapping. Like, I come off the court and I get a drink of water and you can hear me on the bench.
Right.
And then in the game, like I said, I'm always boxing out. I'm gonna box out. I'm gonna set you a solid screen. I'm gonna make sure you're able to score.
Okay.
And even if I can't, and because I always have this idea of like I'm not as offensively strong as my counterparts.
Right.
So I will set you up to where, or at least try to set you up to where I know you're gonna score, or like get you, yeah.
So it's
like
an
I know,
IQ that gets you by to help everything else flow.
Yeah.
That's
She's that utility player.
Yeah.
very, very a background player. And I've come to love that, because like I said, I'm gonna dive on the floor with the ball. Like, I don't care if it's a stop. I don't care. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna get down the court. I'm gonna do my best to put everything on the floor, even if
she's more defensive minded.
Definitely. definitely.
All right, for I don't know if you had anything.
Oh no, I mean y'all were flowing like I'm just here for looks right now.
Nah, what I was very intrigued by, because I always know your academics are great, but to see you as an all-conference academic person 2 semesters in a row speaks volumes of what it means to be a student athlete. So how did you approach it? And when you went to school, were you allowed to pick your own major, or did they kind of force you into something, or you got to do what you want to do?
When I got to school, I definitely picked my own major. I wouldn't let anyone change my mind into a different major because that's something I'm really passionate about and want to do. And
so your academic. So how did you strive? Like, what did you feel when you saw that you made the all-conference academic? And what do you say to the kids out there that are going to school and they should go and do what they need to do when they're there because they're getting a free ride? Like, take advantage of the great school they're getting.
if I'm being completely honest with you, the all-conference thing I saw, I mean, I was like, I've been getting good grades for so long, and I'm like supposed to get good grades, so it doesn't really excite me that much anymore. So when I was just more like, I didn't really care about it. I wanted to be like basketball conference or something. So it didn't really excite me because my first semesters of college weren't hard for me at all. I set my classes up and I never had to stress about any of my classes, and my teammates would always be like stressing over their classes, but I just use my time wisely. Like, I get my stuff done during the day, the times that I have for study hall that they make you do. Just do your work. You don't have to worry about it.
So you say use mandatory study hall to make sure you pass your classes instead of just sitting there for 2-3 hours in mandatory study hall.
Yeah, because I don't like doing work in my room. So I didn't have to do work outside of study hall. So because I like sleep a lot, and that's one of my biggest things. So I would get done with practice, shower, and go straight to sleep. Everyone's up doing work and studying. I'm like, nah, I'm going to sleep.
What about you, Caitlin? Could you repeat the question for Caitlin?
Well, I was impressed by her, even though she wasn't impressed with herself. I was impressed because I like when kids succeed academically because that's what they go to school for. I'm not sure if they had anything as far as academic for your conference that I couldn't find anything, but just tell everyone the importance of getting your education while you're there and taking advantage of what's free for you while you're there.
Yeah, most definitely take advantage of it because, well, in my situation, I had my scholarship my first season and then my next season. So this past year, I wasn't on scholarship this year, but the whole entire reason I went back was because of academically and socially, just the people at the school was just a really great fit for me. So I would say it's very important to get to know your professors, because once you do that, like the work doesn't seem as hard because you have a connection with the person you're doing the work for. So it's kind of like you kind of don't want to let them down. At least it's somewhat always for me. Like, I didn't want to let my teachers down because like they're so caring, and they were just working really well with me, especially when it came season time. I was just like, I don't want to like fail your class or like do bad in your class because I don't feel bad. But yeah, it is very important to take advantage of it, because there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of people that have to struggle to pay for it, have to struggle to even. Some people don't even go because of the financial part. So if you have that financial burden lifted, it is an extreme gift, because just think of it like you just gotta take advantage of it. Get your degree. Get your free degree.
All right. Now I want to get into, because we're in the now, so we're moving toward Paul Quinn. But before we get there, we got to know about the transfer process, and I want to know from you what was the final straw or the nail in the coffin that said, you know what, this is just not a fit for me anymore. I got to move on. And coming from the junior college level, getting another opportunity to move up another level, what was in your decision process as well? But I want to hear from you first.
So I every year that I've been at TW, I was at TW for 2 years, and both years was like a build up every day, every time at practice. Like, I would go hard in practice. I mean, I have my bad days, everyone does, but I would go hard in practice, but it would never come over to game time. So that kept building up. But my freshman year, no one else played either. So I was like, it's not just me. But my sophomore year, I started practicing, then I ended up having surgery. So I was out for the rest of the season as well. But I like worked extremely hard to come back to surgery. I came back like a month left the season playing, and I was still going hard in practice, and like I still was not playing. My name was always the name being called. It's always Manisha, and I just never understood why.
Right.
And like I struggled like being injured and being a basketball player, and you're in college for basketball and not playing that sport. Just a lot of stuff going on, and just like takes a toll on you. So when I finally got back and I still wasn't playing, it was still just taking a toll on me. And it just kept building up, and I kept wanting to quit, but I never quit. But then when Corona all came around, like my teammates, like we didn't have a good season, so stuff had to change. And I didn't quit, like I was released from the team because I didn't play at all this year. And they basically said they saw no improvement from the year before to this year, but I didn't play because I was injured. So it's just another showing, like if you're not doing anything for someone, that you serve no service to them. So I was released from the team, and I went to the transfer portal, and schools were contacting me, and just being released from the team itself just put me like a bad vibe. Like I was honestly done with basketball. I was done. I was just like, I don't really care anymore.
Right.
Like honestly, coaches emailed me. I just looked at it and never emailed them back. I'm just being honest. And then I seen Coach Will call me one day. I was like, "What's wrong with you? Why your voice sound like that?" I was like, "Nothing. I just been going through it." And like we just was talking about everything. Like it really just made me like depressed, like sad. Like I've been doing all this work and it's still not showing for nothing. And I really love basketball, so I feel like it just wasn't fair because I never got the opportunity to play on the floor with my teammates with all the obstacles that I faced. So transfer process, I had to really get to know the coaches that I was getting into because I needed someone that was going to be straightforward with me, and they were going to be the same that they were at the beginning to the end. And I met the Quinn coach, which was Erica Henry. You guys probably know her. And like I spoke to her, and she was just very real with me. She told me what she wanted and what she needs from me, and she was very real for me. That's something I needed and that I've always had that I didn't have in my first college. So it was a good fresh look to see and have, and she believed in me. Like I felt like my last coach didn't believe in me, and it just tore my confidence down more and more. And if you know me, I am a confident person, so that's like not like me. So I just knew it was time for me to go and find somewhere new in a new place to make me feel good again and start hooping.
I'm honestly the same exact thing happened to me. Well, not the same exact thing, but the coaching wise, same thing happened to me. I just wasn't getting playing time, wasn't getting on the court, and it really took a toll. There was games I didn't touch the floor like absolutely at all with no apparent reason, and it just broke down like my confidence. I didn't feel like it honestly got to a point where I was just like, okay, well, he's not playing me because I don't deserve to be playing. Like it was just really bad. And so when by the time the season ended, and all the Corona stuff happened. So but I was asked if I wanted to play somewhere, and I was just like, I just kind of feel done. Like I feel like there's really no point anymore. Like I probably don't deserve. I feel like I wouldn't be I wouldn't thrive. I wouldn't be satisfactory for whatever coach I do happen to go to next. And then this man, whom I've never played for, he's followed me through my journey with Western and through high school. So he's seen me play. He's seen me at my top, seen me at my lowest, which was last semester. And just knowing him and finding out like I'll have an opportunity to play with him and as well as the coaching staff, it was just like a switch. It was just like, wow, like not only do I get to still play basketball, I'll get to play with somebody who is confident in me, who will actually work with me to even if I'm lacking in an area, he will work with me to get to that point, which is what I didn't have that last season. So it's definitely I say that a lot. that's the main reason. And then, like I said, I started talking to the team, with some of the girls on the team, and then the actual head coach, and even she was like, she seemed very excited to get me on campus, and I love that. It makes me, it brings that fire back
right.
to where like I want to go train, like I want to go hard, I want to get better, I want to work on everything to get back to exceed where I was
right.
coming out of high school, which I feel was like probably, or after my first season, college season, was at my best. So.
Kind of leads to my next question. A lot of times when you guys are athletes, the coaches have such an expectation for their players. But I want to ask you, what are your expectations for your coaching staff, and what expectations or goals have you guys set for the upcoming season whenever you guys are allowed to play again?
The expectations I have for a coach is someone that's just fair and equal all the way around, and that they're just real with me. Like, I'm not a sensitive person, so I can take someone being real with me. I don't like the fake stuff. Like, just talk to me real, and I'll go hard for you just like you go hard for me. I want someone to believe in me and not try to tear me down, because I am a person too. So like, if it just keeps building up, eventually I'm gonna get torn down. So I just want someone to believe in me and be honest with me. That's all I need, and to know what they're talking about, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Like if I'm not becoming the player that they want me to be, or I'm not doing like something right, and because that was a major issue I had it with as well. You're telling me you're expecting this and that from me, and that's why you're not playing. That's why you're not playing me or whatever. But I have teammates doing the exact same thing, if not worse.
Right.
But because they have a better track record, I'm just like, that's kind of like you're not even giving me really a chance to show like if I could do better. But
right.
they've been consistently doing the same thing as I have. So it's like, so what I expect out of Paul Quinn staff, just as a whole, just to actually like work with me. Like if you're gonna work with me and let me know like you care about where I'm like going, like talent wise, and like help me improve, and I will do what I need to for you. Like I'll do what I need, what you want me to do.
Right.
I will do for you if you show that you actually believe in me.
Alright. And kind of rounding out everything here, it's been a great conversation. I'm glad you guys stopped by and able to do this. I want to kind of forecast for future, not basketball wise, but I want to know like where you guys see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years, and how do you plan to give back to those who have helped you, or give back to the upcoming youth in the area or around you that are going to need help and guidance and advice? How do you plan to reciprocate?
In the next 5 years, I expect to be done with college, and I'm probably gonna go on to graduate school so I can get another degree, because I want to be a clinical psychologist for psychology. So that takes a little bit more school than just the bachelor's degree. So that's what I want to do, and it just all depends how my basketball journey goes. Like, I haven't played it really in a long time. I've had surgery, and I just want to get back out there and feel the fire, like, because even after surgery, like, I know I'm still a bucket, and I just want to show everyone that the proof thought I couldn't do it, that I'm still a bucket, and just show everyone. And I'll come help out the little kids with their mental problems if they need it.
I want to be a veterinarian, so hopefully, well, in the next 5 years, I'll still be in school. But hopefully, I can start working, become a veterinarian, and because that's been my lifelong passion. I absolutely love basketball, love it, but it's not a good profession for me.
Right.
So whenever I do get done with school, I really hope to like just help out wherever I can. So even if it's like financially with the AAU teams,
right.
And definitely love to do that, and just come like come back and speak to the kids about my experience, and like experiences that I've heard
that's
from other people.
relatable.
Yeah. So just like help them like help guide them, and
that's fair. Well, I want to thank y'all for spontaneously showing up. I know this was kind of last minute, but it's good, because I always want to get a perspective from people who have actually come from this area and get to go outside of this area and compete and do good things. We don't want to hear bad things about you. We want you to be successful, be great young ladies, and just be a shining light for your community and make your parents and everybody else proud that's around you. So thank you for once again showing up. This is Felicia Knox.
Caitlin Gillespie.
Yes, and they will be at a gym near you with Paul Quinn College in Dallas. They're gonna put some work in and give people some HE double hockey sticks this season. Hopefully, with everything.
We doing numbers.
Yes, yes. All the viewers out there, once again, please subscribe, like, comment, let us know how we're doing so that the content will grow and that YouTube will like what we are putting out. Once again, I am Coach Sheldon.
And I'm Coach Will.
This is Two Coaches, One Conversation.